because they don't have mental illness, the medication would damage your brain.
But you're also saying that in the course of the test, they have to be detained. And like, just go back a second. Look like they have to
Well, because
physically,
you have to kind of pretend to be ill, right?
and they
So you
restrain
can
you
you
and
can easily
No,
pretend
no,
to be
not
ill.
restrained.
We
The
don't
detain is not
restrain.
restrained.
okay.
In this country, don't restrain.
Mm.
Um, if the assessment, the psychiatrist does the assessment, and people say, well, because of the way things are in Nigeria, now I can't sleep. I wake up at night. I hear voices. I hear my grandfather's voice.
I'm
Um,
sorry, I'm laughing.
you say all the things that the psychiatrists want to hear for him to give you that label. Of course, that report then goes to your lawyer. The lawyer then sends that report to the Home Office.
You are not aware of any of this.
You are
You are
aware.
aware.
Okay.
You are aware. You are aware because you know that you don't have a mental
Mm.
illness. But you've been told that we would need you to go and see a psychiatrist because that would give you points in the Home Office. So we look, we're not saying people shouldn't japa. Everyone wants a better life for
This
themselves.
is serious.
But what I say is Nigerians must stop using mental illness as a way of getting their stay in the United Kingdom.
Because they become actually.
Because, of course, the society is stressful in itself. You've moved from a country that you're so familiar in to a country you're not familiar in. That in itself is challenging to your being. Why would you then add something else on top of it?
Let me say, just 2 days ago, I think we should take this one. We're on this subject. I spoke to a colleague at work. I said, this thing is going on. And he said, yes, yes, yes. One of my friends work in a mental home. So at a certain time, he has to administer injections. So he's going around, he's administering. This guy is a Nigerian guy. So he gets to the place where you have to administer to a Nigerian guy. And the guy says, no, no, they see me, see, I do okay, I do okay, I do okay. Because because it has come to this. Now, I want to, Miss Ghana, what we do here on this show is just bring awareness to things in our community, send the right advice, and send a way of maybe coming back from this. But as far as you know, in anybody, is there any comeback to normality or on mental health in yourself? Is there any way?
Once a person has got a mental disorder, we all have some form of mental disorder. But once you're diagnosed with a mental illness, of course, we can stabilize your disorder, but we cannot cure it. So we can only stabilize your mental illness. Within reason, you're able to function, but there's no cure.
So you might come in here normal, please, injections will make you into something you, because we, let's just say for the purpose of this conversation, they're acting. They're not mad people. You understand? But with the medication, they will become.
The side effects of the medication is the problem.
Please, we're here. Let's
The
let's
side effects of the medication would mean that it would impact on your ability to function. The message here is people must be very clear that these systems are for people who actually need them. They're not a reason, they're not there for you to use them to get indefinite leave to stay. And I think Nigerians needs to be clear about that.
mm,
If you're on a ward, if you tell a Nigerian nurse, don't inject me, I'm fine, you can say that to that Nigerian nurse. The Nigerian nurse is only there between 7 and 3. They'll be gone. Another nurse is going to come in. Now, this is what happens. Another nurse comes in and he says, "Oh, leave me alone. There's nothing wrong with me." He records it. The psychiatrist comes in and he says, "Well, I went to give him his injection." And he said, "Leave me alone. There's nothing wrong with me." Do you know what that means within the mental health framework? It means that you're not engaging with your treatment plan. And that in itself is a negative, another negativity on you.
Oh,
So don't get in there at all, is the message.
oh
If you're
my
not unwell,
God.
don't use mental illness to get into
That's
anywhere.
It's very good information, I think. And now it's time to pass the message because I don't want to overload you with because they have not just done mental health; they've gone as far as sexuality. Even
No.
some people saying they're gay. I work in the city, and I see uh, Nigerians just off the boat like myself with skirts and beers, and stuff. And immediately I start thinking, how do I work my head around this? If it's not possible that you just come from the plane in Nigeria with rapper and have beers like this and say you are gay, and Japa came to my mind that maybe this is another thing, you know. But before I move to this, I want us to, like I say, Josephine, I'm going to start from here. Mrs. Garner, thank you so much. We could never have privy to this information. What do we say to our people? You will be correct me if I'm wrong, you will be mad at the end of this exercise. You will not be able to remain. You will have indefinite stay of madness. If we're if you will not be
Indefinite leave.
you will not be able to have the sort of career that you think you want because you are on the mental health register, and you are touch and go. You are capable of being very volatile. That's the word to use. So please, now we know. I remove myself from this conversation. Talk to Nigerians. Josephine, you this is a serious conversation. So because if you say don't japa, there are videos on the internet saying people who tell you not to japa are the people who haven't made it here. People who tell you not to jackpot are the people who don't like you. Nigeria is going down. Pounds has just gone to 2,000 pounds today. Naira, Japa, Josephine, please counteract.
Okay. What I would say is, make plans before you come here. And if you have a family, let your spouse come here first. Find his feet and then send for the family. Why all of you come here together is just going to be, a rat race and it's going to be all messy. We are here. We've been here for, I don't know,
Mm.
decades. And we
Yes.
know how the system works here. So please, before you come, make plans. Speak to friends and families who've been here for such a long time, and also don't use your mental state to lie and say you want to come here because the side effects of those medications, oh my goodness, they will really, really get you, messed up. So please make plans and come through the right channel. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Rosetta. We have not established, but it looks as if some lawyers are privy to Article 8. And the way this system has been working, this COS system, they would say anything to get money from their clients in Nigeria. So I don't know whether the lawyers are actually telling them that if System 1 doesn't work, System 2 is there. But what would you say to them?
Whether it's system one or system two, the lawyers in Nigeria or the lawyers in the UK, I think if that is what they're doing, they need to stop. It's not right. Actually, they can get into trouble for that, you
That's
know.
right.
They can actually lose their profession doing that because that is so wrong. Because you are misleading people, vulnerable people, you people who are so desperate to
Hmm.
do anything, to get indefinite leave to stay in this country, and you're just playing with their mental health
Yes.
because they will never be the same again. Once you are mentally ill, you are mentally ill. It's on your records, it's in your DNA there.
Hmm.
The tablets, the injections would not do you any good. You will become statistics in the UK here. You may not even be able to return to your country of origin, especially if we're not set up for that kind of.
The
Yeah.
thing
Do you
that you
understand?
just
Because we're not a welfare state.
no.
Nigeria is
That's
not a
right.
welfare
Yeah.
state. If you send a mentally unwell person back home, they will go there and die because they will not have access to the medication,
Education,
No.
the accommodation they have here. Remember, the government will look after you here.
Yeah.
Accommodation, medication, everything you're covered.
Mm.
Going back to Nigeria with that, who is going to do it?
this is it. Miss Ghana, is the UK government aware that because we want to be proactive? I was talking this morning. We spoke. So Nigerians going for the mayor of London, and they established that we have fear to say things that are happening in our community, fear to go to the right authorities for help. If these people come here, I can see this problem going into your family, because in the UK, they may ask, is there anyone in your family with mental health issues? What started as a joke because you wanted to get stay or something in this country is now affecting your family. Is the UK government aware that some Nigerians are not in the mental health category, but they just say this for other reasons?
Mm-hmm. That's very difficult. I don't know what the Home Office is aware of. What I know is my fellow Nigerians will need to stop doing it because of the implications to them and their families. That's all I know. Now, the I would say that the purpose of this is to advise our people to be very clear, as she says. One, Britain is not easy to come to. You cannot Japa to Britain without having clear connections in Britain today. If you choose that you want to come, then come through the right way, apply to the Home Office, and let the Home Office go through what they need to go through with you for you to get either your work permit or your indefinite leave to stay. Using labels would haunt you for the rest of your life in Britain. And even if when you go back to Nigeria, what what do people think of mental illness in Nigeria? You immediately have labeled yourself, stigmatized yourself, and even your closest family now says that when he went to Britain, Amadi been the Amado.
Yes, don't kulo.
You know, that is the worst thing that you're doing to yourself. That's what I would say. I think in terms of the Home Office, there's all sorts of services. Now, there's a section of the Human Rights Act which requires practitioners to carry out an assessment because you don't have recourse to public funds.
You don't.
So, that section of the Human Rights Act allows practitioners to carry out an assessment for you to get services. Now, you can link the two
Yeah.
together. I'm now mentally unwell. So, you can assess me under the Human Rights Act so you can give me services. Because don't forget, I haven't got a job because I just jacked by.
Yeah.
So I don't have money. I don't have anywhere to live. So with that diagnosis and the human rights assessment, you can now have access to services. So we would accommodate you. We would give you pocket money. You see why they do it? So you just got this name that you're here. You cannot even send £5 to your family at home, and that's why you're jackbuying.
Is there any benefit of this to the British government? Why they have to make you, or they just take you for your
No,
word?
there's no benefit to the British government. In fact, it costs the British government money
I was
for
thinking, yeah.
what you're doing because um, you're assessed under the Human Rights Act. So, for that reason, we're now giving you services that you ordinarily would not be entitled to.
Let me
So,
get
of
this.
course, it costs you
We are
the government.
abusing the Human Rights Act.
Those
That's
people
right.
are.
Those people are.
Ah, you understand?
Those people are
Yeah.
because if we don't act, the law will come on us, isn't it?
Yes.
Just as a social worker, let's
Mhm.
say I have an adult social worker and I have somebody who is mentally unwell,
Yeah.
I have to assess him and provide for his needs. That's what my job tells me to do. Do you understand? You cannot not do it. But if they're lying about it, then that's something between them and whatever it is they're doing. But for me, I have to do my assessment.
Yeah.
That's my due diligence. That's what I'm paid for.
Mhm.
You understand? Yeah.
Good, good. And while we speak like this, I think if you've lived here
Mm.
as long as we have, when that loophole or when they find out that human rights law is being exploited, they will change it and it will come down on everybody.
It's not the Human Rights Act that is exploited. It's the mental health system that is being exploited.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people are not clear as to the implications of that. And I think as Nigerians, we need our Nigerians to know that if, look, we have people that are genuinely mentally unwell and needs the support from the mental health system.
Yes.
Nobody can be denied of that. But do not pretend to be mentally unwell, is what we're saying here. And I think that's the emphasis. Don't pretend to be.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, ladies.